Oftentimes, when you hear about spiritual awakening, you hear of experiences of supernatural encounters with beings from different realms and different dimensions. Whether you are coming from the Christian background, the Islamic background, New Age, Buddhism, whatever, most often when spiritual awakening is being taught, it is taught around these supernatural encounters. You hear of people speaking with Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, the Galactic Federation, Lyran being, whatever beings. And you ask yourself, if you do not go through such dramatic experiences, does it mean that you are not spiritually awake? Or does it mean that you are not spiritually awakening? Dear soul, if you're asking yourself such a question, you are at the right place. My name is Francisca, and you are welcome to Francisca Inspires. I want to speak to you today regarding spiritual awakening, but not in the way that it is often taught about. You see, in as much as spiritual encounters are good, I'm not in any way debunking it or saying it is not real. Far be it from me, for I've had my own encounters. But dear soul, I want to tell you that these are not the determinants of spiritual awakening. Supernatural encounters, speaking with beings from other dimensions or other realms, they are not the measurement for one that is spiritually awake. They are not the basis of spiritual awakening. Because we have coined spiritual awakening around these experiences, a lot of beautiful souls that are going through spiritual awakening without such experiences do not see themselves as being awakened. They see themselves so far away from being spiritually awake or going through the process of awakening because of how the narrative of spiritual awakening has been coined. Today, I want to divert and I want to speak with you from my soul regarding what spiritual awakening truly is. You see, spiritual awakening is not something dramatic. It is not something elite. It is not something that makes you more than others. Spiritual awakening is just remembering. It is the intimate return to your original being, to your original template. It is the remembering of who you truly are. That is all spiritual awakening is about. And I'm not going to take much of your time, but if you will stick with me to the end, then I'm going to outline certain things that will let you know that you may be going through spiritual awakening right now and you don't even know it because of the traditional narrative that you've heard regarding spiritual awakening. For many beautiful souls out there, spiritual awakening does not arrive with fireworks. It does not arrive with dramatic supernatural experiences. It arrives with subtle shifts, with subtle discomforts, a sense that something has shifted, even though you might not quite have a name for it yet. It's like something has changed within you. You can feel it deep down. You can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your guts. But you cannot quite name it yet. If you have such a feeling, dear soul, this space is for you. Spiritual awakening is not about escaping your humanity. It is about embodying it more honestly. It is not about rejecting life as it is. It is about seeing life more clearly. And very often, awakening begins not with answers, but with the falling away of old beliefs, of old habits, of ways of being that no longer fits. That can be unsettling at times, yet it is often the first sign that remembrance has begun. Like I told you from the beginning, let's outline 7 signs that shows that one is spiritually awakening. These signs are around us, and many beautiful souls are going through them. But because of the narrative surrounding spiritual awakening, we don't even consider them, or we don't even know that this means that we have begun to remember. The first sign is a quiet sense that something has shifted. One of the first signs of awakening is not excitement, but a subtle inner knowing that something has changed. You may not have words for it. Life may look the same on the outside, but inwardly something feels different. Old motivations lose their grip. Certain conversations feel hollow, and you sense that you are standing at the edge of a deeper truth. This is not confusion, it is the beginning of clarity. The second sign is that what once fit no longer fits. You may notice that beliefs, habits, and even roles you once held tightly begin to feel constricting. This doesn't mean they were wrong, no. It simply means they've completed their purpose. Awakening often feels like old clothing. There is nothing wrong with the clothing, but it is no longer a fit for you, or it no longer belongs to who you are becoming. Allow this gently. Resistance only creates suffering here. The fourth sign is a pull towards stillness, truth, and simplicity. Awakening often brings a longing to slow down, not because you are lazy, but because your inner world is asking to be heard. Noise feels heavier, busyness feels impressive, and stillness begins to feel nourishing for you. This is remembrance calling you inward, not away from life, but deeper into it. The fifth sign is a deepening relationship with yourself. You may begin to notice a softer, more honest relationship with yourself emerging. Less self-judgment, more curiosity, a willingness to sit with discomfort rather than immediately fixing it. This is self-love in its truest form, not performance, but presence. Awakening matures us into compassion, first for ourselves and for others. The sixth sign is a growing discomfort with inauthenticity. You may find it harder to pretend, harder to agree just to keep peace, harder to live out of alignment with yourself or with your truth. This doesn't mean you become controversial or confrontational. Often it means you become quieter, but clearer. Integrity becomes more important than approval. This is not separation, it is sovereignty returning. The seventh and the last sign I'm going to be speaking about is a remembering rather than striving. Perhaps the most profound sign of awakening is this: you stop striving to be spiritual. You begin to, I'm from the Christian background, so I can only use that example. I remember that we used to strive to be spiritual. You want to fast 40 days, 50 days, 100 days to feel like you are spiritual. You want to be able to pray until your voice is lost. You want to be able to pray so many hours, 2 hours, 5 hours at a go non-stop. And then you get to a point you want to pray 24 hours non-stop to feel that you are spiritual. This is striving. Spiritual awakening. It's not about striving. These things does not make you spiritual. These things, they are just the outward thing. Your very makeup, dear soul, is spiritual. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience. You don't need to strive to be spiritual. You don't need to show that you are spiritual. Your entire makeup, your entire being is spiritual. And when you begin to awaken, you realize this. You cease to force spirituality. You cease to strive to be spiritual. Truth begins to feel familiar, like something you've always known, but temporarily forgot. If you recognize yourself in any of these signs, I want you to know something important. You are not behind, you are not broken, and you are not failing in life. You are remembering. Awakening does not ask you to abandon your humanity. It asks you to inhabit it with honesty, gentleness, and coherence. Let this process unfold in you in its own timing. There is no finish line here, only a deeper return to yourself. If one of these signs resonated with you, you are welcome to share which one felt more familiar. And if you are just listening quietly, that's perfect too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. As you return to your day, go gently. Stay with what feels true. And remember, you are already enough. Until we meet again next time, remember, restore, radiate.